Hi, I'm Valdemar Beltman from Dreamlight, and in this second video of Movie Maker Advanced Features we'll be covering the Shadow Catcher plane. So what the plane does is really catch shadows, and you can actually turn it on and see where it goes, and anywhere inside this plane any character will get a shadow. So the reason this plane is of limited size is because as you increase the size of this plane, you will get softer, deep map shadows. Let me show you how this works. Let's turn this off and just make a quick render here. Like that. And you can see the shadow is pretty soft, but still you can see the details of the body. So if I was to make this Shadow Catcher plane larger, for instance to fit more characters or a larger spaceship or anything, I can just resize it to like 500%. And if I make a render now, the shadow is going to look more blurred or fuzzy. Right. So that's why the Shadow Catcher plane has a limited size. Of course, you are free to use ray tracing if you want, and ray trace shadows will obviously not interfere with the size of the Shadow Catcher plane, but since ray tracing can sometimes take longer to render, you want to use deep shadow maps, and if you do, you have to be careful not to have a too large Shadow Catcher plane. Alright, so why do we want to increase the size? Well, for instance, we can see that plane's origin is actually here where V4 stands at 0, 0, 0. Let me resize that back to 100. And you are not limited to placing your characters at the center. You can actually pick a spot. It has to be the same level though. You cannot place characters up there. It has to be on the ground level. You can actually resize the Shadow Catcher plane slightly to fit this area, and now I can just take V4 and I can move her and actually place her right here on the other side, the water, or just like that. And when I hit render, I'm still getting a shadow. So that's the thing about resizing. If you want to put more characters into your background or your scene, or if you have a larger prop like a spaceship or something and you want to catch shadows onto a larger area. So there is one other thing. You don't actually necessarily need to resize this Shadow Catcher plane. You can actually move it instead. So just move back at the default size. You can just move it. Oops, sorry. Place it right there, and I can make a render with the default 100% size. And you can see the shadow is much sharper since we didn't resize it. So that's an advanced feature of the shadow catcher plane. You can either resize it or you can move it around to take advantage of the environment. And we have one final feature. Let me remove the Victoria from here. And let's move the shadow plane back to its original position. One final thing I want to talk about is the reflections. We can actually, let's take a sphere, make it 25 meters and pretty high quality. Oops, that's obviously too big. Like that. The thing about Movie Maker is that despite these backgrounds are really just backgrounds, they are surrounding your scene, which means, let me just remove the ambient and make sure we have a reflection on the sphere. Reflection, set it to 100 or 60, around 60. There with the glossiness. And if I make this render, the sphere will actually reflect full 360 degrees, including the ground the sphere is standing on or staying on. Just like that. We have a problem with the specular level. Let me try that again. Right. So you are actually reflecting ground and you are reflecting the sky, and this works from any direction. So you can actually try a different camera node here, and yeah, why not? Let's try this one. Yeah. So that's a neat thing. Despite you don't have any props or any mesh in the scene besides these backgrounds, you're still reflecting full 360 degrees from any angle. Let me try one final one. I'll try this one. Yep. And let's decrease the diffuse of the sphere. It's pretty bright. Alright, and this concludes this advanced features video, and thank you for watching.